Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. In today's video, first of all, before we get started, I want to show you guys, I've spent 5.5 days on this game, alright? And it's been out for like 8 or 9. So when y'all talk about, like, oh, when you see my badge, you're like, oh, this dude over here glitching, bro. Heck no. This is straight up legit 5.5 days spent on this game. Anyway, now I just want to get back to this. And matter of fact, before I show my badges, because again, I do want to prove that everything in this is like fully legit. It's pretty capable as long as you have people that you play 3v3 pro-am with, and that, you know, also, I mean, I am fortunate that part of the time my team is like centered around me as well. So I do get quite a bit of stats and stuff too. But anyway, I mean, I'm 88-7 in Park with 182 and 43 in 3v3 pro-am. I've played team pro-am 6 games, rec 9 games, and I think my career around like 40ish. So anyway, I just don't want people questioning me because I'm showing the full capability of my badges, and I'm almost at max defense. I haven't got the shooting, and then my playmaking and finishing are maxed. Anyway, best way to set up your finishing badges, because this is what this video is about. My bad that it took a minute and a half to get into this. Now this is tailored toward me. Personally, I don't even use this much when I'm running pick and roll, so I would even just apply this to that or this. However, but I will say, for you guys who probably don't spam alley-oops as much as I do, because I run strictly pick and roll. Well, not strictly, but for the most part I run pick and roll, and this is what I love about these 20 finishing badges, is that this year you can fully customize them and just literally boom, like take off wherever you want. And most normal people would probably want this. Where, you know, you take less stamina hit. However, this is I'm gonna go full in depth on everything here. First of all, like, first things first, I'm gonna address slashers. So like the ones that will take the ball in their hands and just do things with it. Now this is with 20 badge points that you can use. So pretend my dude isn't 6'9" with, like, you know, all the attributes that he actually has. Let's pretend that you have like a slasher build that's like 6'6" or 6'5" that you're like running point guard with. I would say, again, this isn't a very necessary Park badge. The fatigue isn't that big of a deal as far as like Park. I will say though, I was playing pro-am, instantly put this thing on. I know for sure it's gonna be a problem. As a guard, I would say Giant Slayer is definitely a necessity to have Hall of Fame, as well as these two as well. Consistent finisher and pro touch I've evaluated equally, and at the end of the day, bro, this pro touch just does not pop up very often. Now don't get me wrong, some of you guys might be gods at timing your layups, but listen, I don't know about you, but it's so variable and so like random that I personally just have no control over when this badge pops up. You have to, it says slightly early, slightly late, or excellent. You know how rare that is, bro? You know how truly rare that is? And it says, and yeah, gives an extra boost for having slightly early, slightly late, or excellent shot timing on a layup. Personally, bro, that is so hard to do. With consistent finisher, it drops the amount of like lack of timing that you have. So I've noticed I'm never taking this badge off. It's pops up almost every single time that I take a layup, and as you can see, penalties for missed time layups are reduced, allowing players to make layups more consistently. That is a very accurate description of this badge. I can 100% attest to that. Contact finisher, obviously, with any slasher build, you're gonna have this on Hall of Fame. That's a given. Slashers who play below the rim finish contact layups more successfully, while above the rim, basically, are able to pull off more contact dunks. So not only does it help your, you know, standing layups, driving layups, it helps your standing dunks and driving dunks as well. So anyway, so long story short, make sure you have these two Hall of Fame no matter what build you have as a slasher, center or guard, it doesn't matter. But as a guard, fancy footwork is a beautiful thing, bro. It's a beautiful thing. Now this is kind of the tough thing I have to balance with my build, is that personally, the way I play, I love to use Lob City finisher, but however, I don't necessarily have the ball in my hand a lot, so it's kind of tough to balance with this. Personally, I think this is what I'm gonna go with, like, long term. Just go Giant Slayer, maybe even drop Giant Slayer a little bit and just go like Relentless, or yeah, I think that's probably the proper thing to do. Now, what I love about it too is that if I'm playing twos, right, with like some stretch big, I'm not gonna catch many lobs. So what I'm probably gonna do, I'm gonna do this, something like this, where I can, you know, utilize the fact that I'm playing at the 1 with a stretch big at the 2, because my build is a solid perimeter defender as well because of the athleticism. I'll probably go something like this just so I can like baby guards. But long story short, like I said, I'm here to address what to do for like a guard as a slasher. So personally, you're probably going acrobat at a decent level. Euro layups, hop layups, those are the big things. Obviously the spin layups I used to like a lot, but now they're kind of a little questionable in this game. And reverses, obviously that benefits it as well. Change shot layup attempts as well. So obviously, you know, when you like hang in the air and press X, I would say put this to around like silver. If you have more finishing badge points than I do, then feel free to go with something else as well. And then I would say I wouldn't touch teardropper. Honestly, I'm gonna go over the pointless badges to have. I feel like cross key scorer, pointless. As a guard, back down punisher and drop stepper, pointless. Same with deep hooks. I've tried Showtime like a lot, and it doesn't. Maybe they'll nerf it, or maybe they'll buff it a little bit. But personally, I've seen what my teammates takeover meter does when I have this badge, and it really doesn't do anything. And the whole description of it says gives an additional boost to a player's takeover meter and their teammates when successfully completing an and one or flashy dunk. I didn't notice any extra buff like to the takeover meter that I got when I did do a flashy dunk, because in the first place I already get takeover meter toward my flashy dunk. Like, you know what I mean? When you do a dunk, you get takeover meter as a slasher. So I mean, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary as far as like they were giving me extra stuff. I would say as a guard slasher, go with slithery. Now maybe what you ought to just do anyway is just go with something like this, because as a guard you're gonna want Giant Slayer. I think they said the prime ability of this badge will be utilized when you have a 6-inch deficit to the person you're trying to score on. So my player is 6'9", and 7'3" is who I'll be going against generally, because I play the 3 with this build. So that is a beautiful thing to have as well. It's just finding the right time to have this on is the key for me. But yeah, I would say as a guard, slithery finisher is probably the last, like the final badge of these key ones that you would want to use. I've noticed it. Now, I say that because I feel like it doesn't make the biggest impact, and I tried it on Hall of Fame a couple of times. I don't have the greatest experience with this badge, but I just feel like for what it stands for, as a guard, you would probably want to have this on. Maybe in a future video, I'll give you guys a more updated like version of what I'm talking about here with that badge. But yeah, I would say here's your key badges as a guard: slithery, acrobat, relentless, and Giant Slayer are like kind of the like mid-tier ones, and then fancy footwork, consistent finisher, and contact finisher. Those are the key badges in my opinion. Now, if we're talking bigs, I'm gonna help y'all out. I'm gonna help y'all out with the big men, like the dudes that I'm basically playing as. So, and for me, like I said, I'm 6'9", so I don't really like need this badge desperately, but it's still good to have. As somebody that's any taller than me, like 6'11" or like 7 foot or even 7'3", slap that thing off. It is not worth having. Same with if you're like a true big, fancy footwork probably isn't necessary. You're gonna go with back down punisher, probably drop stepper, and then I would even say, depending on your height and your layup and your like dunk packages, I would say Lob City finisher is a real necessity as well. Just because it's the best way to beat hedge defense. Like, it's a beautiful thing when you have this badge on. But anyway, if you're not that play style and your guards aren't really like keen or like aware to throwing alley-oops, then probably don't put that on. Pick and roller is worthless in my opinion. Same with where's putback boss? Yeah, these two badges, I have never wanted to have them in any 2K. I've been playing slasher since 2K17 or like athletic finisher, and every year I'm forced to have pick and roller and like putback boss. And well, I guess aside from 17, I didn't have putback boss, but I hate these badges, bro. They're so useless. Pick and roller, not worth having, bro. Because generally people will play sides anyway, and when they play side, that's the only time I truly score, because that's when you get the slips. So I don't know. At the end of the day, pick and roller is kind of worthless in my opinion. So yeah, as a big, I would either go with a lob finisher, or if that's not for you, then I'd probably go relentless, or maybe even just split it amongst the two. But yeah, these 4 badges at the end of the day are going to be very key to your play style. Now cross key score for like a post score, that might be a decent one. Like it says running hooks, layups, close range pull-ups while driving across the paint. I don't really know what driving across the paint means. I don't know if it means like going down the middle, like down through the paint, or if it literally just is kind of like a big man's acrobat, basically, on like reverse layups, basically. I don't know. But anyway, that right there basically concludes the video. A really quick touch on like what to do as a wing player real quick. So obviously, like I said, you're gonna want these. Wing player, like my player for instance, you're gonna want fancy footwork. I believe Lob City finisher you should have as well. And then let's go with, depending on how tall you are, like I said, if you're 6'9" or shorter, probably go Giant Slayer. Or maybe even get just a little bit of relentless, because at the end of the day this is kind of an essential badge, but I just feel like it's not really like that important. As you can see, it says improves a player's ability to take a lot of contact by reducing the energy lost when attacking the rim for contact shots. I don't really think this is that big a deal, especially in Park. In Pro-Am, it's a whole different story though. This is like such an essential badge to have in Pro-Am. But anyway, yeah, I would say as a wing slasher, probably go with something like this. Or if you truly don't believe in this badge at all, just go with this. Or if you want just a little bit of acrobat, just because with the amount of fancy footwork stuff you're going to be doing, maybe you want a little bit of acrobat as well. Depends what kind of slash you are at the end of the day. Because also if you're one that more like handles the ball, like let's make Joe as an example, who has like a slashing point for it. Probably doesn't need Lob City finisher too high, just because he's not playing off ball very often. Obviously, the only time you're going to be finishing lobs is if you don't have the ball in your hand. So at the end of the day, you might as well use something to benefit yourself with the ball in your hand. For instance, like acrobat, or maybe even some slithery. Just keep in mind, like I said, pointless, dependent, and then pointless, basically pointless, and then definitely pointless, and then in my opinion definitely pointless. So anything that I don't have activated right here other than drop stepper and back down punisher, I feel like is pretty useless aside from relentless too. So here real quick, I'll just give you guys an example of the badges that are like beneficial to have. You could maybe make the case that Pro Touch is like sort of beneficial as well, but in my opinion definitely not. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is like the type of badge. This is the type of badges I would go with if I were you. Now, don't pay attention to the tiers of it, but I'm just saying these are the important ones that you can decide what fits your player the best. But yeah, at the end of the day, I feel like only half the badges are pretty useful. So anyway, that's all for the vid. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, all that good stuff. And yeah, if you're already subscribed, feel free to turn on notifications. Real quick, I guess if you really want to know, I'll just give you guys an example of what to put on for a slasher. Quick first step, easy, and then probably, depending if you play threes quite a bit and you play the 3 and you get a lot of rebounds, probably downhill. If you play like undersized, like if you play the point guard with your slasher, but he's like a 6'9" guy, and you play with stretch bigs of the 2, maybe post spin technician, that'd be kind of clutch, or possibly unpluckable. But at the end of the day, those are the only ones that I think are really important. Now, me personally, since I'm a YouTuber and I go for the memes every now and then, I'm definitely gonna go with ankle breaker. But that's aside from the point. Anyway, but that's only for like when I'm wilding out. Anyway, like I said, that's all for the vid. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, all that good stuff. Like I said before, turn on noties if you're already subscribed as well. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take it easy, man. Peace.